I think first section must have been completed. Maybe he can
So we did
welcome you.
the first section, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, Maharaj.
So now we are talking about Naishkarmya.
Yes. Hare Krishna and Namre devotees. So welcome everyone to this session by His Holiness Bhakti Arjava Priti Swami Maharaj. And we are very fortunate that we are receiving Maharaj Association regularly. And we welcome Maharaj by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. His Holiness Bhakti Arjava Priti Swami Maharaj. Jai. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare. There is that in Zoom on the phone, there is a little floating window.
Yes.
Can I remove it completely?
Yeah, if you can just drag it to the side, it should be able to do that.
Well, there is like a little button, remove. If I put it there.
Yes, you can try that. You should be able to do that.
Let's see. No, then it switches to the Zoom. Okay, anyway, I think we'll manage. So, Hare Krishna. So reading from Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, and then verses 16 to 24. Naishkarmya, how to transform work into a sacrifice. In verses 14 and 15, Krishna urged Arjuna to follow the example of the great souls from the past. In order to do this, Arjuna should understand the distinction between action, karma, unauthorized action, vikarma, and inaction, akarma. Karma means pious deeds described in the karma kanda portion of the Vedas, and vikarma means sinful activities. Akarma refers to activities without karmic reactions. Although engaged in all sorts of work for Krishna, a devotee does not enjoy or suffer the effects of work because he is devoid of any desire for sense gratification. So Prabhupada explains in his purport to verse 20. This freedom from the bondage of action is possible only in Krishna consciousness, when one is doing everything for Krishna. A Krishna consciousness person acts out of pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attraction for the results of the action. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna, nor is he anxious to secure things, nor to protect things already in his possessions. He does his duties to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant reactions of good and bad. It is as though he were not doing anything. This is the sign of akarma, or actions without fruitive reactions. Any other action, therefore, devoid of Krishna consciousness, is binding upon the worker and That is the real aspect of vikarma, as explained herein before. So all these actions, we have that karma, akarma, and vikarma. Then the reactions, actually the real problems are because it forms the anarthas. So like so many times we talked before, these anarthas, now those are the seeds of desire, the papa-vijja, which makes us conditioned. So doing anything which is materialistic, ultimately it forms it's a vikarma. So and even karma, doing some pious activities, in a sense, it's also a vikarma. So pious activities, by Krishna conscious definition, is anything which is pleasing to Krishna or it's for Krishna. Anything else, be it just building hospitals or food distribution, unless Krishna is in the center, unfortunately, then it creates reactions which will make us more attached to material world, and be it sattva or a raja, it doesn't matter. It's a problem. So therefore, by devotees, it will be considered vikarma. So the only way how we can, what's beneficial for a devotee is to perform akarma. So akarma means that whatever action he does it for Krishna. So as we talked about before, then sakama, okay, is the beginning, but the nishkama, it's the real stage. That's actually the akarma. So that's what we are trying for. Because of knowing his constitutional position in relation with Krishna, the devotee is free from the three modes of material nature. His activities become scientific sacrifices to Krishna, and the resultant reaction merge into transcendence. Verse 24. So here, this is a confirmation. That's actually how akarma is done. And that is how also we get rid of the anarthas which are already present. So activities done for Krishna as sacrifice then creates detachment from the material world and at the same time attachment for Krishna. So verse 24 declares that when the material objects are engaged in the Lord's service, they become spiritualized. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport, the absolute truth covered by Maya is called matter. Matter dovetailed for the cause of the absolute truth regains its spiritual quality. Krishna consciousness is the process of converting the illusory consciousness into Brahman or the Supreme. So this is also very, very important that see, Maya is illusion, and definition of Maya is not that Maya is unreal. Maya is real. Material world is real. But for us, thinking that this is the supreme, this is the goal, that's what I am this material body. The material world is the superior. It's here for me to be enjoyed by me. This is the Maya. So if we are aware of it, if we can understand this, then actually, then we can get out of this illusion, and then the whole world becomes, for us, energy of Krishna, which is not Maya. We understand, as soon as we understand that this is all Krishna's creation, then we can fully surrender. When we surrender, that's when Krishna can purify our heart. And that's what we are looking for. Verse 24 should not be interpreted in the sense that everything is absolutely identical with Brahman and that only Brahman exists. Srila Bhadra Bhushan explains. The commentators have explained that the ladle and other items are said to take up the nature of Brahman, since their function depends on the Brahman and since Brahman pervades them. The fact that the Lord pervades everything does not mean that he has become everything and he has lost his personal existence. He is omnipresent, though, through his energies, and still he maintains his independent existence as a supreme enjoyer. The Lord confirms this in Bhagavad Gita 9:4 and 5. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not them. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. So Srila Prabhupada, he is giving so many examples on that. Like we have a king gives orders, by him orders are done, so many things are created, but the king didn't do it himself, in one sense. He was not there, he was not building it, but he ordered. And now the servants of the king, they made it happen. So Krishna has it very similar way. He is the source. He is, you can say, the Kulapati. He has the designer. He knows what he wants, how he wants it. But he has his energies, the Kriya Shakti, Icha Shakti, Pala Shakti, and they will do everything, whatever, exactly how he desires it to be. Verse 24 describes the proper method of performing the sacrifice. The ultimate goal of sacrifice is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In our conditioned state of existence, the contact with matter is unavoidable. But when we spiritualize our activities by performing them as a service to the Lord, they become sacrifice. In other words, when other invokes the spiritual, transcendental, or absolute in everything, then matter focuses its mundaneness. And then only can one release the perfect meaning of the phrase Sarvam Kal Idam Brahman. The Vaishnavas say that everything connected with the Lord is devotional service, is in devotional service is transcendental. In other words, it is non-different from the Supreme Lord himself, Madhava. Just as iron in long and constant touch with the fire loses the characteristics of iron and becomes fiery, so everything offered in sacrifice to the Absolute or the Transcendence becomes Absolute or Transcendental. Renunciation through wisdom. Is there any question on this?
Yes, Maharaj, I have Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanvat Pranam.
So maybe we can, yeah.
Yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, I have one question. Maharaj,
Yes,
in
yes.
this, yeah. Maharaj, this one 9.4 and 5, Maharaj, I never understand this when Krishna says all beings are in me, but I am not in them. But he's always residing in as Paramatma in everyone, in every living entity. So how do I understand this?
You see, the jivas are Krishna's energy. We are part and parcel of Krishna. In quality, no, we are equal. In quantity, we are just tiny, tiny particles of Krishna. So, no, we are part of him. But he's not really part of us. We have our own now free will. So therefore, we are free to do whatever we want. Do you understand? So Krishna creates, he makes it happen. It's him. But whatever he creates, it's not, I mean, it's by his inspiration, it's still his energy, but you cannot say that this is Krishna. Same like the jiva. See, jiva, okay, we are in one sense not equal to Krishna in quality, but in quantity we are not. And therefore we cannot consider ourselves being Krishna. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, somewhat, Maharaj. I will do.
See, as Krishna says, okay, although I'm the maintainer of all living entities, and although I'm everywhere, I'm not a part of this cosmic manifestation. Because Krishna, for myself, I am the very source of creation. So like, again, the king, he may order to build a palace. Now, the king, he is the source of the creation. He is the source. He gave the order to do the palace, but he cannot say that the palace is the king. The king may live in the palace, but when he leaves the palace, the palace is it's useless. It's the king who is the important. You understand?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes.
So Krishna is trying to tell us that he is there. He's there for us. But we have to understand that the material energy is not equal to him. This is not it. Krishna is helping us to realize actually who is Krishna, where is his real world. Because the 3/4 of the creation is spiritual world. And 1/4 of his creation is the material world. So he is trying to educate us. He is showing us what is the reality. And because we are thinking that the reality is somewhere else, that I am this body and I have these senses and I am meant to enjoy them. So that's Maya. So Krishna, see, he is with us, but he is not us. So he's with us as the super soul, as a Paramatma. But he is not the Atma. He is not making decisions for us. We have our own desires, and now we not always listen to Krishna. So we are independent of Krishna in sense, and therefore we start thinking, I am Krishna. But that's the Maya. Once we start understanding of, okay, I am not Krishna, but for me, the natural way, the reality is that I'm servant of Krishna. So I should start listening, what does Krishna want from me? You follow?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Does it make it clear?
Maharaj, one more question. Yes, yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
Maharaj, Maharaj, I have one more question. Maharaj, Nash Karmya means whatever work we do and we do not desire for its fruits. That is Nash Karmya, right? So, Maharaj, Nash Karmya also comes under a karma.
Nashkarmya will be the nishkam. So nishkarmya is that we are desiring to not only see, we are not desiring, not only that we are not desiring the results, but we are desiring to offer everything to Krishna. Sakama is that we have our own desires, we want to do it our way. But we offer the results to Krishna. The nishkama is that we are offering the results, but before even the results, we are offering the whole activity to Krishna. It's higher. And see, this is the akarma. We are offering the whole activity to the Lord. We take no reactions for it. You understand?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj. I got it. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. So then the other section, verses 25 to 33. Sacrifices resulting in transcendent knowledge. In the previous section, Krishna explains how to transform our daily work into yajna. In verses 25 to 33, he describes different sacrifices resulting in transcendent knowledge and liberation. They are recommended in the Vedas to suit different types of workers. All these sacrifices help one to become purified of material existence and advance one towards the eternal atmosphere. Without sacrifices, one cannot be happy in this life, what to speak of the next. The sacrifices performed in knowledge are better than mere sacrifice of material possessions. The purpose of all sacrifices is to know one's relationship with the Supreme Lord and to engage in loving, transcendental service to Him. Srila Prabhupada summarizes this section as follows. The purpose of all sacrifices is to arrive at the status of complete knowledge, then to gain release from material miseries, and ultimately to engage in loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna. Nonetheless, there is a mystery about all these different activities of sacrifice, and one should know this mystery. Sacrifices sometimes take different forms according to the particular fate of the performer. When one's fate reaches the stage of transcendental knowledge, the performer of sacrifices should be considered more advanced than those who simply sacrifice material possessions without such knowledge. For without attainment of knowledge, sacrifices remain on the material platform and bestow no spiritual benefit. Real knowledge culminates in Krishna consciousness, the highest stage of transcendental knowledge. Without the elevation of knowledge, sacrifices are simply more material activities. When, however, they are elevated to the level of transcendental knowledge, all such sacrifices enter onto the spiritual platform. Depending on differences in consciousness, sacrificial activities are sometimes called karma kanda, fruitive activities, and sometimes jnana kanda, or knowledge in the pursuit of the truth. It is better when the end is knowledge. So, as Srila Prabhupada points out here, it's a very, very important point that we need to focus in the beginning on the sambandha gyan. We need to realize our relationship with the Lord. We need to realize, who is the Lord? Who are we? Our relationship with Him. We need to realize, His energies. Who is the material energy? And what is our relationship with the material energy? And unless we have, see, the sambandha gyan, it's like a foundation, like a foundation of a building. If you want to build something, you want to build the building, you need to make proper foundation. If you don't make it, then, or it's weak, building will not last. That's why, if we don't have the proper foundation, so then you see everything becomes weak. If we don't know who we are, if we don't know what is our purpose, if we don't know who Krishna is, then we can say, well, we should just chant Hare Krishna. But if we are doing it without knowledge, without realization, then there is a very good chance that we will not be chanting Hare Krishna and we will be deviating. We need to be convinced. We need to come at least to the stage of nishtha to be able to be steady, so then we can progress on the path of devotional service much faster. Before that, because of our attachments, then the progress is very slow. But how do we convince ourselves? Again, we discussed it before, but it's very important. We need to understand that who is Krishna? You see, in the Dashamula Tattva, Then there are 7 verses dedicated to the Sambandha Gyan, and 1 to Abhidheya, 1 to Prayojana. Because once we have the proper Sambandha, once we know who we are and what are we doing, then to figure out how should we do it, and to figure out actually how to achieve the goal, it's very easy. The most important is to figure out how do you start. Again, like an example, then you want to go to Vrindavan. So you start thinking about how to go to Vrindavan. What are the options? You can take a train, or you can take a bus, or you can take a car. You can go different ways. So you have to think about what you want to do. Now, once you say, okay, I'm taking a car and I will go to the Yamuna Express, then it's very easy. Then you just sit in the car, and you need you need petrol, you need to have everything ready, the car has to be prepared. Once everything is done, you just sit in the car and you start driving, and you just follow the signs to get onto the highway, and you just sit and you continue going until you reach the goal, Vrindavan. But if you don't know where you want to go, if you don't know the relationship, if you don't know that, okay, you are a driver, you have to have everything ready. If you miss something, there's no petrol in the car, or that you don't take your driving license with you and then you get caught. So many things. If you are not prepared, there will be obstacles on the path. So the same thing is with devotional service. You have to prepare yourself. You have to know. Once you are prepared, then the process itself is easy. So we have to be ready for that. See, in the another study guide, which is the thematic study of Bhagavad Gita, this is what Srila Prabhupada himself wrote it. That study guide is based on the Dashamula Tattva of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Bhagavad Gita is explained based on the Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojana Gyan. But somehow it's not very popular in ISKCON. People, devotees, they don't teach according to the study guide. I think it was only once that Satsvarup Maharaj, he taught once according to the study guide, but after that, really nobody did. Somehow it's not being explained properly, but it is necessary that the Sambandha Gyan is properly explained. Part of the Sambandha Gyan, or great part of the Sambandha Gyan, it's the Varnashrama system. We need to know where we belong. How do we figure out what is our connection? How do we figure out what is our responsibility? So this is all part of it. But we are missing it. We are not paying attention to it. And this is very unfortunate. So, well, I'm hoping that once we finish this, then we will continue doing the thematic. Means the one actually, based on the Srila Prabhupada's study guide. I think it's very important. So we should also be thinking like that. We should also be preparing. I need to figure out that, okay, if I'm servant of the Lord, what does it mean? Who is he? Who am I? And my relationship with him. And you should be thinking about it now, whenever and whatever you are studying. That's very important. Okay. The next section. Okay, verses 34 to 42. The previous summary of transcendental knowledge. The previous section described different sacrifices resulting in transcendental knowledge. In verse 34, Krishna gives the direct way of attaining such knowledge. The Lord advises that one must approach a self-realized soul, serve him submissively, and ask questions. Because the spiritual master had seen the truth, he can give a clear understanding of all living beings, that all living beings are part and parcel of Krishna. Once one realizes this, he will not be deluded again. Verse 35. This verse 34, it's by some of the acharyas, it's considered the most important verse in Bhagavad Gita. That's because that without this verse, without this understanding, the pranipata, pariprashna, and sevaya, there will be no other knowledge. We cannot gather knowledge without understanding this. So we need to realize that by submissive inquiry and service to one who has the knowledge, we may get the knowledge. Without that, there is no way. We cannot, by our own endeavor, we cannot do it. So we need to get the mercy of the one who has it to be able, so he can share it with us. Srila Bharaya Vidyabhushan comments that verse 34 speaks about specific kind of transcendental knowledge. And after thus teaching knowledge of Atma and the method of realizing this knowledge with its components, verses 25 to 33, the Lord now teaches knowledge of worshipping the Lord Swarup. To attain this knowledge, a person must take association of devotees. That he teaches in this verse. In his book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami explained that accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master is the first item of devotional service. Adau Guru Padashraya. In the renunciation through wisdom, Srila Prabhupada warns about some of the challenges a sadhaka can face after the initiation. One should not raise too many doubts and questions. This process, which strictly follows the Vedas, will bring us to a realization of the inconceivable truth. Once we are on this path, many realizations dawn on us, and it is imperative that we pursue them in order to progress further. That faint illumination of knowledge that appears as at first is certain to lead to full enlightenment. But we have to be patient. We must carefully avoid letting pride enter our heart because of some initial perception of the inconceivable absolute. Rather, we must eagerly approach the Guru or the pure devotee and ask how to proceed. We must reject the narrow and bigoted idea that there is nothing more to know, nothing more to know. The most important point is to always fully depend on the mercy of the Supreme Spiritual Master residing in the heart. So this is, we already discussed it also, but this is actually the purpose. This is actually not how the spiritual knowledge, spiritual revelation is given. We have Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, and Chaitya Guru. They all teach us how to realize who we are, that we are Nitya Krishna Das. So ultimately, we should realize that Krishna is Chaitya Guru in our heart, and he is giving us always infallible instructions constantly, and always the best. But unfortunately, we are not able to hear him. We are not able to perceive it. Therefore, then he also mercifully manifests as a Diksha and Shiksha Guru. So we are being explained. The Shiksha is being given. The Diksha, he's teaching us the Shiksha. The Diksha, he sees, he tells us, well, this, what you are doing is wrong. Do it properly. He corrects us. So by his mercy, we are able to understand the Shiksha. And now, when we understand the Shiksha, then we can surrender. And once we are purified, the Chetarapana Marjanam, then we can understand the reality that Krishna being in our heart, he is always there and he can guide us directly. So that's the purpose of this verse, the verse 34. That's what's being explained. The Mahatmas who had seen this truth, they can reveal it to us. The Lord now describes the fruits of transcendental knowledge. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was afraid of sinful reactions and going to hell. Verse 36 explained that even if one is the greatest sinner, he can cross the ocean of nations by proper understanding of one's constitutional position in relationship to Krishna. Such knowledge of self, super self, and their relationship, sambandha gyan, like fire, will burn the reaction of all material activities. Verse 37. A devotee who is situated in this knowledge enjoys it within himself in due course of time. In verse 38, Krishna uses the word kalena, in due course of time, because Arjuna wanted to renounce prematurely. This is a warning for those who think that just by changing their dress, they can become truly detached and accomplish in transcendental knowledge. And that's also about that when devotee prematurely thinks, well, I'm Raganuga, I don't have to follow any rules, regulations, then it actually becomes a trap. We have to be very careful. When the devotee fully dedicates to the bhajan, and like Haridas Thakur, the devotee must be ready for it. Otherwise, it may turn very ugly. And I have seen actually cases like that. So we have to be careful. Okay. Are there some questions? Because we could finish it, but maybe there is some more questions because it is important to understand it into details. So I'm not sure if there are many questions. We can rather talk.
Yes, Maharaj.
Take the questions.
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Devotees, if you have any questions, you can raise
Hare
hand. Yes, Namrasita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj,
Hare
one should, this line, one should not raise too many doubts and questions. Prabhupada is saying after initiation, one should not raise too many doubts and questions. What does he mean by this? Like,
You see, no, questions, yes. But no, the questions in regarding how should I move forward? So in other words, then we start with Shraddha. Shraddha means like a very initial faith, something that there is, we have a faith that there is something better than the material world. Then taking association of devotees, sadhu sangha, then we realize I want that. I want to progress. And we find a spiritual master, bhajana kriya. And I want a spiritual master to guide me. Now, each of the stages between Shraddha to Prema, it's just a deeper level of Shraddha. So Prema being absolute Shraddha. Now, we want to progress. So when we are taking initiation, we are surrendering. So the pranipata is there. I have faith that the spiritual master, he knows. I don't know how is he going to do it. I don't know what I need to get in order to understand it. But I trust him. And because I trust him, then I follow his advice. Now, sometimes the advice may be difficult to understand. So maybe we will have a doubt. But rather than say, oh no, but I don't think that you are right. I think I should do it differently. Then we block our progress. So we should get back to what we were thinking, or before we were taking the initiation. I surrendered to the spiritual master. So I trust him. Now he is telling me something which I don't understand how to do it, but I trust that he means it well. Therefore, I have no doubt that he will help me to progress. And therefore, I stick to what he's saying. Now, questions, in regards, okay, I don't understand. Okay, no, spiritual master, the spiritual master, I don't understand. How should I do it? Please explain. These are right questions. But no questions, I don't think you are right. I think it should be done like this. Then may not be progressive. So we have to be maintaining the pranipata, the surrendered mood, the submissive mood, and challenging questions, showing that I am better than you. I know, I have heard, I have read somewhere. Then they don't help us with progress. So that's why we have to be careful about not to fall for this. Is that clear?
yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Do we have any other questions from Maharaj from what we heard today? This is the important section of fourth chapter. No more questions, Maharaj. This is the only question.
I would like you to, for the next time we have class, to go and read that verse 34 and 35 from Gita and study it properly. And then we can talk a little bit more in details about it. After all, it is the important, the most important verse in Gita, according to some acharyas. So yeah, if you could do that.
Okay, Maharaj. So,
All right. So,
yes. How's your stay in Barsana, Maharaj?
Sorry?
How's your stay in Barsana, Maharaj?
Oh, very nice. It's very good. You should tell the devotees they should not just read it, they should study it. Try to really understand it. So the homework should be rather to study the verses 34, 35.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you see, now is the Navaratri, no?
Yes, Maharaj.
So there are so many nice decorations. Devotees are coming, giving some donations. So today it was like very nice decoration for Radharani. It was good. When you come to Braj, you should sometimes make it for the Mangalarati at Barsana.
Yes,
it starts at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, yes. And they go all around. They go.
Sorry?
And they go all around, Maharaj. They come out and then they sing and they also go around.
Yes, and the altar is open like for 45 minutes almost.
Yes.
So nice darshan you can take. It's very good. And the deities are beautiful.
Yes, Maharaj. We will try, Maharaj. Sometime we'll. Actually, with a group, it becomes difficult because there's no place to stay there, Maharaj.
Yeah, well, you can do parikrama before that. So you can park downstairs and do a little parikrama. And then you come and have a. And from Vrindavan, you can make it. I think it takes like 45 minutes, no?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, of course. It's a lot of sacrifice waking up early in the morning.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah. But it's doable.
Yes, Maharaj. We'll try to do it, Maharaj. We'll try to do it.
Okay. So I'll see you
on 16th.
I
only,
think
Maharaj. You will see me on 16th. Only. 16th, I'll come with Bhakti Prem Maharaj to Rohini Temple.
Okay.
And
16 in Delhi.
Yes, Maharaj. And for you also, I'll book the ride. You just let me know, Maharaj, how's the situation, and then.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be also leaving around the 16th morning then.
Yes, Maharaj.
And next Wednesday is what date?
Next Wednesday, Maharaj. 17th, Maharaj. We won't have class because that is
So-
the Ram Navami day, Maharaj.
Okay, so we will be, okay, so no class, and we will be on the 18th in Gurgaon.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. So we can have class at the time.
Yes, Maharaj. We can have class that time. Yes, Maharaj.
So maybe we can go and now one topic we can have discussing the verse 34.
Okay, Maharaj. Okay. Sure, Maharaj.
Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so very much, Hare Krishna devotees. So thank you for attending the session. And we heartily thank Maharaj by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Arjava Priti Vardhan Maharaj ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.